Hi, I'm Bill Snyder, and this is cooking class number 2. What we're going to talk about today is the Canadian egg sandwich. Last week we did the signature egg sandwich, which will be the basis for all subsequent egg sandwiches in the future. So today we're going to do the Canadian egg sandwich, and the ingredients, as I talked about last time, we only have a few because remember, I am a cook of the minimalist school, so I don't use, like I said, a lot of utensils, a lot of ingredients. You'll notice that I really use almost no spices and almost no seasoning, part of the minimalist culture. All right, first I always start with a preheated pan. I've already cooked the egg because you've already learned that in the signature egg sandwich. But I'm just going to start adding ingredients. There's the egg over there, and as you notice, the yolk is just lightly cooked. It's still runny in there. Okay? We're also going to use English muffins. We're going to use Thomas's English muffins. That's the only kind of English muffin that you can use. All right? Because the rest of them, they say English muffin on them. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they don't come out the same as the Thomas's English muffin. All right? I've also got Kraft cheese, not Kraft singles, Kraft cheese. Okay? We talked about that last week, how you don't want to be using anything that says singles on it, because that's not food. This is cheese. So, okay, great. We're also going to use a meat that I don't like, and that is Canadian bacon. That's what makes it Canadian egg sandwich. All right, first I preheated the pan, and let's get the butter on there. And as you can see, as we talked about last week, you have to see bubbles on there. That way you know that the pan is hot enough. Okay? See how, if you come a little closer, maybe you can hear that. Can you hear that? Okay. My lovely wife, Ann, who's taping this. All right, and I'm going to start with a meat that I generally don't approve of, and up till a few weeks ago I never really liked, and that's Canadian bacon. Now, oh geez, I'm really messing this up here. That's all right, it's kind of stuck together. Okay, let's do this. There, now I got it. Put a piece down there. That pan should be hot. Piece there, and I like to use 3 or 4 pieces, even though I kind of messed up this 4th piece. Canadian bacon. Something about Canadian bacon. It's not really bacon. Let's start there. It's really just glorified ham. And they don't even call it Canadian bacon in Canada. You know what they call it in Canada? They call it back bacon. You know why they call it back bacon? Of course you don't. Because it's taken from the back of the pig on either side of the backbone, below the ribs, but above the pelvic area, okay, on the pig. So right in this area. The idea there is it has less fat because regular bacon, or what we call it regular bacon, American bacon I'll call it, is from the stomach of the pig. Much fattier, as you can imagine. That's just a thing that, a little tidbit that most people don't know. It's called back bacon in Canada. It's also called pea meal bacon because in the old days they used to make this meal with peas to cure it and to keep it. They don't do that anymore because we have refrigeration. You'll notice one other thing I've added. I've got some background music playing, which I didn't have last week. That's part of the criticism I received is you should have a little music in the background. Part of that feel-good type thing. If you have music playing, you feel a little bit better about yourself. Kind of lifts your spirits. And as I said last week, relative to the dress, if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, it comes off in the taste. So I like to play a little feel-good music in the background to get me going. You know, I got a little Jimmy Buffett going right now on my iPod. You don't have to film that. But anyway. All right, let's take a look and see how this is coming. Yeah, Canadian bacon. The trick with Canadian bacon is just to cook the day like that, okay? Because if you just use Canadian bacon and it's only lightly cooked or not cooked at all, it tastes terrible, all right? It's just, like I said before, glorified ham. Another good thing about Canadian bacon is it makes you think about Canada. That's not a country we think about very much, is it? You know, Canada is a lot younger than we are. Canada was basically founded in 1867. We were founded in 1776. That's a 91-year difference. So we have a lot more history than Canada. Let's see, where's my spatula? It's right here. I know it looks like I just pulled it out of the sink out of dirty dishes. I didn't. That sink is clean, okay? So it's okay that I use this. Anyway, I got thinking about Canada and I started to look up some stuff on them. Very complicated history. They're not like us. I mean, both of us were like owned by England. But with us, we just said, okay, English guys, get out of here. We're going to have a revolution. We're going to kick you out. We did it. Took a few years. Got it done. Simple. We had a clear demarcation there when we were a country. With Canada, it was kind of like England was holding on to Canada for many, many years, and they basically just got tired of them. They said, run yourselves. That was right around 1867. July 1st, 1867. I find that noteworthy that we were a country that they wanted to keep. And Canada was a country they basically just wanted to get rid of. And I don't know, I've never heard anything really bad about Canada, and I know a lot about Canada because I've been through it. I've been in almost every province in Canada. And it's a good country. But you know what? If it's such a good country, then how come everybody lives in the United States? You think about it. There's not many people up there, maybe because it's cold. I don't know. It's a very pretty country. Anyway, we're kind of getting off topic here. But the Canadian bacon here is shaping up pretty well. But again, I might have to turn this up a little bit because what I'd like to see in my Canadian bacon, I like to see it a little bit charred. All right? Just like a little bit burned. That's just the way I like it. So let's see if we're kind of getting that effect right now.
Turning it too frequently.
Excuse me?
You're turning it too quickly.
Okay, maybe I should press it down. Oh,
Let it
I'm the one that's supposed to be teaching this class, all right? So I appreciate your comments and your guidance because you really do help out. But right now, I'm the teacher, so. All right, so this is going pretty well. You can tell the music's getting a little livelier. And I might rush this sandwich a little bit today, and that's because today I'm really hungry. If you'll notice over here, there's a whole lot of birthday cards. You know why that is? Because today's my birthday. And it makes me feel good when it's my birthday. I love this music. It gives me something to do while I'm cooking, because a lot of times you get some wait time over here, right? Anyway, I think we're just about done. Let's see how we're doing. And I got this pan very, very hot. Did you know that we invaded Canada a couple times? You know what? One of those times we invaded with a general. You know what his name was? Benedict Arnold. We actually sent a trader. Of course, we didn't know he was a trader at the time. We sent a trader up there to invade Montreal. And he didn't do very well. You want to know why? Because he was a trader. If you wanted a trader, you would have done fine. If we would have sent like Ulysses S. Grant or someone of that ilk up there, or even like a Confederate general like Robert E. Lee, maybe Stonewall Jackson, maybe Andrew Jackson, we would own Canada today. They'd be like the 14th colony, or they'd just be another state now. They'd be the 50, I don't know what their order would be, but we'd have 51 states instead of just 50. And that would be one big state. I mean, maybe we just merge it with Alaska. Anyway, all right. This is what we're doing. All right, let's go ahead and get everything prepared. I'm also going to make a little bit of coffee here. Remember, when you're making the Canadian egg sandwich, Canada is not just English. It's also French. So when making the Canadian egg sandwich, you know what I use? French roast coffee. That's right. And I'll show you how to make this. I got to do it quick. Well, I don't have to really do it. On YouTube, your videos are limited to 10 minutes, and I got to get this done in under 10 minutes. Otherwise, you're going to have a 2-part video. So when I make a cup of French roast coffee, I use 3, not hugely heaping teaspoons, but pretty heaping teaspoons. All right? And then what I do is I make sure the pot is relatively clean, not too clean. That's all I do to clean my pot. I put it right in there. If you clean it too much, that coffee's not going to taste very good. I take 1 cup. I fill it up with filtered water. I don't use regular tap water. I use the water that's been filtered through our expensive filter. Okay?